You ever try so hard to be nice that you accidentally become the most annoying person in the room? It's a special kind of social nightmare. Your brain's good-intentioned GPS glitches and reroutes you straight through awkward town population. We're all just trying to be decent humans, but sometimes our best intentions backfire spectacularly. Today, we're diving into the polite moves that actually annoy people, turning your golden halo into a major headache for everyone else. Let's get right into it. Number 5, the decision black hole. You know the scene. You're with a friend, your stomachs are rumbling a declaration of war, and someone asks the most dangerous question known to humanity. What do you want to eat? And then it begins. I don't care, what do you want? No, I'm good with whatever you pick. Seriously, anything works for me. This polite ping-pong match of indecision continues until you're both so hungry you're considering eating the decorative plant in the corner. On the surface, you're being incredibly flexible and easygoing. You're a social chameleon, a go-with-the-flow guru. But what you're actually doing is creating a conversational black hole from which no decision can escape. You think you're being accommodating, but you're actually offloading 100% of the mental labor and the potential blame onto the other person. Now, not only do they have to pick a restaurant, they have to psychoanalyze your entire personality to guess what you secretly want, while also worrying that if the tacos are mediocre, it will be entirely their fault. This isn't just about food, it's about any choice. Picking a movie, a vacation spot, a paint color. By refusing to have an opinion, you're not being nice, you're being a responsibility ghost. You're handing someone a grenade of social pressure and saying, "Here, you hold this." So next time you truly don't care, try offering 2 or 3 options instead. That way, you're still being flexible, but you're not forcing your friend to become a reluctant leader of the starving and indecisive people's republic. Number 4, the forced marathon. Picture this, you're walking toward a building, maybe a solid 40 feet from the entrance. You're moving at a leisurely pace, enjoying the day, minding your own business. Then you see it. Someone exiting the building spots you. Their eyes lock onto yours. And then, with the grand gesture of a benevolent king, they hold the door open for you. From an absurdly long distance away, the internal monologue immediately kicks in. Oh no, they're holding the door, I'm too far. Do I speed up? If I speed up, I'll have to do that weird, awkward half-jog, half-shuffle thing. If I don't speed up, I'm a monster who doesn't appreciate their kindness. Suddenly, your peaceful stroll has been transformed into a high-pressure social performance. Your only goal now is to close the distance before the door holder's arm gets tired or they die of old age. This seemingly polite act is a classic example of an unsolicited social contract. The door holder meant well, but they've created a sudden and unnecessary obligation. You didn't ask for this favor, but now you are honor-bound to acknowledge it with physical exertion. It's the real-world equivalent of a website pop-up you can't close. You were just trying to get inside, and now you have to engage in an activity you never wanted. The unspoken rule of public kindness is to never force someone to break their stride. Hold the door if they're 5, maybe 10 feet away. Any further, and you're not being polite. You're just the inconvenient, unofficial coach of their new, very reluctant track and field career. Number 3, the empty toolbox. You see your friend is having a rough time. They're overwhelmed with work, their car just made a sound like a dying whale, and they haven't slept in 3 days. You, being a good and supportive friend, put a comforting hand on their shoulder and say the 5 magic words. Let me know if you need anything. You walk away feeling like a saint. You've offered your services, you've opened the door. Meanwhile, your friend is now more stressed than before. Because here's the secret. That phrase, while sounding like the pinnacle of kindness, is actually a form of social buck-passing. You feel helpful without having to do any actual work. The person who is already drowning in problems now has a new to-do list. First, they have to stop and analyze their own crisis to identify a task that is small enough not to be a major burden. Second, they have to overcome the immense psychological hurdle of actually asking for help. Third, they have to contact you and articulate their need, all while praying they don't sound too demanding. It's like telling someone whose house is on fire, "My toolbox is in the garage. Feel free to grab whatever you need." You haven't helped, you've just assigned them homework. A truly helpful offer is specific. Can I bring you dinner on Tuesday? I'm free on Saturday afternoon to help with yard work. I'm running to the store, can I grab you anything? These give the other person a simple yes or no question to answer, removing the emotional labor. Let me know is the thoughts and prayers of interpersonal relationships. It sounds nice, but it doesn't actually do anything. Number 2, the sorry epidemic. Sorry, can I just squeeze past you? Sorry to bother you, but do you have the time? Sorry, I'm about to sneeze. Sorry, sorry, sorry. We live in a world drenched in apologies for things that require no apology whatsoever. You bumped into me. I'm sorry. You asked a perfectly reasonable question. I'm sorry. You exist in the same physical space as me. I am so sorry. A genuine apology for a real mistake is a sign of emotional maturity. But a compulsive apology is just a verbal tick that devalues the word. When you apologize for every minor infraction, you start to sound like a malfunctioning customer service bot. More importantly, it makes everyone around you uncomfortable. You're constantly putting yourself in a submissive, one-down position, which forces the other person into the awkward role of having to constantly reassure you. Don't be sorry. It's totally fine. Please, for the love of all that is good, stop apologizing for breathing. This habit often stems from a deep-seated fear of being an inconvenience. But ironically, the constant need for validation becomes the very inconvenience you were trying to avoid. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy of awkwardness. You're so worried people will think you're a nuisance that you apologize your way into becoming one. Save your sorries for when you actually mess up. For the minor crime of taking up space on planet Earth, a simple, excuse me, or even just a confident smile works wonders. Number 1, the mind reader. Some people don't just listen to your stories, they try to co-author them in real time. You're right at the climax of a hilarious anecdote, you pause for a dramatic breath, and your friend jumps in and finishes your sentence for you. And that's when you realize the dog was actually a raccoon. Close, but no. It was a possum, and that distinction is critical to the story's comedic integrity. Thank you very much. In their head, the sentence finisher thinks they're showing you how connected they are to you. They believe they're on the exact same wavelength, so in sync that they can anticipate your every thought. They're being an active listener. But what it actually communicates is, your verbal processing speed is lagging, and I'm here to optimize it. It's impatient, it's presumptuous, and it completely hijacks your narrative. Every time they do this, they steal your chance to express yourself. They take away your autonomy, implying that what you were going to say was either painfully obvious or just not worth waiting for. Conversation is a dance, and the sentence finisher is someone who keeps grabbing you and dipping you before you're ready. It's less of a partnership and more of a subtle power move. So unless you have a notarized certificate confirming your telepathic abilities, let people land their own conversational airplanes. Your excitement isn't helping, it's just making them wish they had a verbal eject button. Okay, this one is so common, so infuriatingly polite on the surface, that it doesn't even get a real number. We're putting it at number 0, the honesty shield. It usually appears right before a verbal missile is launched directly at your self-esteem, and it sounds something like this. No offense, but, or its equally sinister cousin, I'm just being honest. You brace for impact, because you know whatever comes next is going to be the opposite of pleasant. No offense, but that haircut makes you look like a startled owl. Wow, thank you for that incredibly honest and completely unoffensive observation. These phrases are the ultimate Trojan horse of social interaction. They are presented as a gift of virtuous truth-telling, but they're actually just a way for someone to say something rude and get away with it. The speaker is essentially saying, I am about to knowingly say something that will probably hurt or offend you, but by using this magic prefix, I am absolved of all responsibility. I'm not being mean, I'm being honest. It's a shield they hold up to protect themselves from being seen as a jerk, while simultaneously throwing a spear right at you. This maneuver doesn't soften the blow, it makes it worse. It announces that the insult was premeditated. It's not a slip of the tongue, it was a conscious choice. They had time to think about it, wrap it in the flimsy gift paper of honesty, and present it to you. True, constructive feedback doesn't need a warning label. If you're offering advice with kindness and good intentions, you don't need to cushion it with a phrase that basically translates to, prepare to be insulted. If you find yourself needing to say, no offense, maybe just, don't say the thing, that's also an option, a much, much better one. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.